Let's talk about FICO scores. Suppose we buy a two-bedroom condominium in this building for $179,900. This is actually a property that we have near Trinity. We pay $29,900 down and borrow the remaining $150,000 through a 30-year mortgage. If the annual interest rate is 4.01%, which is about what they are nowadays, find the monthly payment. As we have seen, we can solve this by using TVM Solver. Our monthly payment turns out to be $716.99. How does a bad credit rating affect the size of the monthly payment? Well, what do we mean by a bad credit rating? The most common credit rating is generated by a company called FICO, Fair Isaac Corporation. FICO credit scores range from 300, oh my goodness, that's very bad, extremely bad, to 850, excellent, superb. The lower your credit rating, the higher your interest rate, because the risk that you will not repay is greater. Okay, so for example, 13% of people have a FICO credit score between 800 and 850, 27% between 750 and 799, etc., and only 2% are in this category, 300 to 499. Now, let's look at how that impacts your monthly payment. We saw that your interest rate is 4.01%, but that's if you have an outstanding credit score. And so your monthly payment would be $716.99. But the worse your credit score, the more your monthly payment. So if, for example, your FICO credit score is in this range, 620 to 639, you'll pay 5.60% interest, and your monthly payment will be $861.12. So how does FICO determine your credit score? What factors are considered when they calculate your score? Well, here's an illustration from FICO's website. Let's look at these individually. Credit payment history. Paying credit cards and loans on time. They consider how late, how often, how recently, how much. Obviously, if you don't pay your credit cards or loans on time, that affects your credit rating. Foreclosures and bankruptcies really affect your credit rating, so avoid those if at all possible. Amounts owed. They look at the total amount owed overall and the percentage of available credit being used. In other words, don't max out your credit cards if possible. And also the number of accounts with balances. Credit mix. Do you have experience with credit cards and loans, or do you just have experience with one of those? If you have experience with both, that looks better to them. Also, the number of accounts. Too many accounts will affect your credit rating negatively. New credit. Opening several new accounts recently, especially over a span of time. Oh, they know the game. They know you. That's a sign that you're in financial trouble, and that will affect your credit rating negatively. And then length of history, the length of time you've had particular credit cards. So here's how to improve your FICO score. Pay your bills on time, of course. You can enroll in automatic payments from your checking account. That's what I do. Reduce the amount you owe, of course. Pay off debt rather than moving it around. They're wise to that. Don't open a number of new credit cards at the same time, because what that communicates to them is that you're in financial trouble. Don't max out your credit cards. If necessary, ask for a credit limit increase. That way it doesn't look as bad. Don't cancel a card you've had for a long time. I've had one credit card since 1991. I'm not canceling that baby. And don't lose a car or house to foreclosure or file for bankruptcy. That will ruin your credit rating. Again, nothing ruins your credit rating forever. Credit ratings eventually improve over time, but in the short run, these will affect your credit rating negatively. Okay. Liz Pulliam Weston, an MSN financial journalist, asked Fair Isaac Corporation, to compute the impact of these events on a 680 FICO score and a 780 FICO score. Maxed out credit card, 30-day late payment, foreclosure, and bankruptcy. Oh my goodness, look at the negative impact bankruptcy will have on your credit score. But let's focus on the 30-day late payment. So this is the impact it will have on a score that's 680. This is the impact it will have on a score that's 780. So for example, if your score is 680 and you have 680, 690, something like that, and you have a 30-day late payment, then your monthly payment would go from $752 to $861. So in other words, if you're applying for a car or a house, let's take that house for example. If you've had recently a 30-day late payment, then that house mortgage payment is going to jump from $752 to $861. That's enormous. So the moral of the story is don't pay your bills late.